Live from WinterCon,
It Came From the Radio, the official show of the Big Apple Con, and I'm here with Mark Mazz and Joe Macueri. Hey, I got it right. I'm proud of myself. So guys,
oh God,
how is the convention treating you?
well, this is a great place. I think it's an awesome venue. It was kind of awkward to figure out where the parking was and all that, but I think this is like the first year of what I would consider a dynamite show. What do you think, Joe?
I think, the teaming up of Frank Patz and Mike Carbonaro to do a show like this, they found a great venue, and the way it all looked like it wasn't going to come together at one point, and then yet it did, I think is a really big tribute to two insane genre guys.
It's Frank's wrestling background and Mike Carbonaro's look-alike Rolling Stones attitude that got it together and made it happen.
It is. And, I think the way they're working the floor, it's like a tag team match.
Oh, it's very funny. I remember the hotel when I was coming in wanted to get Mike's attention, so Frank answered. So that Mike could go do what Mike had to do. It was very obvious that this was a tag team.
So, you guys been in the business for years. I've seen you at cons many moons ago.
We're con men.
Yes, we are. In fact, we still have the scars to show it.
And Kevin Smith, you cannot use that. You cannot use that.
No.
How have you seen conventions change from what they were to what they are now?
Hotter cosplay.
At the end of the day, I think each convention has its own flavor, and you find that one particular theme will start to dominate, So I think when they didn't want to use celebrity guests, per se, for this show, they reached out to the cosplay community, and while we've got a lot of comic artists here and stuff, it's undoubtedly the role-playing and the cosplay that took over this particular show.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year will be a little bit different.
When Joe and I first started going to shows, cosplay was a bunch of guys dressing up in peanut butter. And that was it. Cosplay has changed into this whole new art form for people that just want to express and idealize and show their enthusiasm for all these different ideas. So it's a whole new world.
But as I mentioned before, I come from a BAI background, more of a community sense. And, when we think about what's going on in the world today, if people who do cosplay could harness that energy to, more world causes, even some of the things that are going on here, like look what happened in the last election, I think we could really change the world,
No, I think the guys that were dressing up in peanut butter for cosplay when we were young were involved in the last election. That's why it happened.
This is what I call the Maxwell Smart theory. Remember Get Smart?
Yes.
Yes.
Like if they only use their powers for good.
Exactly.
Right? It's
funny. It's funny you mentioned Maxwell Smart. My building just had to completely rebuild the entrance to the building, so they had us going through the security fire entrance, which remarkably has all the same tiling as Get Smart. So I'm walking in for the first time. First thing I did was take off my shoe. The security is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to call my boss."
I think at the end of the day, the problem is too that it's different in terms too where we've seen how the web has taken away from radio, has taken away from the print media, and I think while there's some good stuff going on with Netflix and Yahoo, where they're putting money into shows, one of the shall we call them the evil empire is the Sci-Fi Channel, because from their original entertainment to their original movies, they really undercut the budget, which undermines, I believe, the creative value of these people out there. And when you think about, they have a cosplay show now, and what they're not paying these people, basically they come in and for free they get a show, they got a couple of people who are speaking for them, and what are they really paying them? If they were anybody who were in SAG or AFTRA or anything like that, they would get residuals or something. And at some point, as a person who believes in the integrity and the artistic value of what they do, you have to make a stand.
Well, I have to say this. The thing that bothers me most is that the empire called Sci-Fi Network appropriated this term created by an individual who I love and admire and respect, who unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, Forrest Ackerman. And Fari was one of the greatest human beings on the planet. Every time they made a film of science fiction or fantasy or horror, Fari was there on the set watching what was going on, and every time they went to get rid of a prop, every time something that a craftsman made that was no longer of use to the movie company, when it went to be thrown into that dumpster, Fari was catching it before it hit the dumpster, which is why he had a museum of every prop and every fantasy and every horror prop going back for decades. And we owe that man a huge debt, a huge thank you for saving that craft and that art that appeared in all these films.
And here's the thing too, when Fari saved something or Fari worked on something to give spotlight to it, he did it in such a way that it paid homage to the original creators. He knew who they were.
Yeah.
Looking at cosplay, I think one of the problems is that there's a lot of people out there who are creating outfits that are based on other people's designs, and when they get up there on the stage and they're talking about these things, they're citing the characters, but they're not citing the. You never hear say, "Oh, well, my costume was based on a combination of Neil Adams designs and whoever else's." So there's a real lack of knowledge. So that when this generation moves forward and these fans who are watching these shows evolve, I mean, where are they going to go? How are they going to have that connection to the original source material?
Yeah, you need to know the source. The source material is where you gain the most strength. And I think the issue with the cosplay right now is that they're play acting in these outfits. And the craft to actually make the outfits, those that make their own, I have an enormous amount of respect for, because that's nearly impossible to get right. Those that just buy it in the store or buy it, from another company that's just making money to make the outfits, I can understand why they're doing it, but in a way, I know you're spending a lot of money for it, but it cheapens it for me, because I'd rather see your creativity in making the outfit than necessarily this perfectly crafted leather outfit that's not telling me where it came from. It's sad because it's two sides. You see the energy that people want to put into it, and those are the original costumes you've never seen before. They obviously made themselves. I'm blown away by that. But some of the rest of it doesn't quite do it for me. It's like Halloween. Buy it in the store and go to the party.
Yep.
So, you said you're on BAI.
Yes.
So where is BAI? And here you talk more about this stuff.
BAI is still at 99.5 FM. The station was damaged horribly back during Sandy.
Yep.
And it's still downtown by Wall Street. It's still a ghost town. So they were having problems with the phone lines. The only thing that basically was working really was the connection that they still had to the antenna on top of the Empire State Building. And they had outgrown the space. There was no support from the building down there. They weren't able to provide services, but they were still wanted the same rent. So the nice folks over at...
Joe, they love you.
I know. The nice folks over at CUNY at 137th Street uptown had a studio that was available and basically made the space available. So they're broadcasting from there right now, and their business offices are down in the Brooklyn-Williamsburg area, downtown Brooklyn area, and they're building another facility down there that they'll eventually move into.
And where can they hear you on the air? What time? What place?
Night shift. Whether I'm on or not, depending. I decide I want to trek up there at midnight and go to 3 a.m. sometimes. We're on at midnight to 3 a.m. Monday nights.
What's the name of the show, Joe?
Night Shift with Mike
The
Sargent.
Night Shift.
And you also said you're involved in a contest committee, right?
Well, Frank is doing another show in January, which is a horror show, which hopefully I'll be helping them out with. I've been talking to them about. And then at the end of February is the Winter Film Awards, where you can go to winterfilmawards.org. We're a 501c3 non-for-profit charity, Within the context of that, I've created 3 special awards.
Joe, just say it right. It's cons in New York.
This is not a con. This is a film
No,
festival.
not cons. It's like CANES. Cons
in New York.
In New York.
Thank you. But we have the Winter Fear Awards, which we give out a special award for a horror short and a horror feature. And then we do a lifetime, it's a Patron of the Cinema Awards. So it's, last year, which was on our inaugural year, we gave it out to Larry Fessenden, who is a New Yorker, owns Glass Eye Pix, is an actor, producer, writer, who's helped a lot of filmmakers launch their career. And I just thought he would be the perfect person to give it to because he embodies, a patron of the cinema. So.
What about you, Mark? Where can people find Mark's stuff?
Well, what you can do is you can go to my site for my publishing company, atlasunleashed.com. And I've also, in the meantime, the past time since I've been on your show, Mark, I've started a comics news site, which is comic-centric. It's about comic creators. It's not about the mass media. It's not pop culture. It's not the TV shows and the video games and the TV series, the board games. It's really just about comics. So comicscreatornews.com. So comics with an S, creatornews.com. Or as we like to call it, CCN.
All right, so that about does it for us at the WinterCon. Thank you guys very much, Joe and Mark. And
Thank
we'll
you.
See you next time on It Came From the Radio.
Always a pleasure.